It's the Anime Queen Television coming at you live, except not live. The main reason this is gonna seem really weird and like I was an idiot. Okay, I did this once in the past, but I just did it again, where I forgot to click record microphone audio, so I recorded like 50 minutes of one episode and forgot the audio. So that was good. There's the system audio still there because I guess why not, you know? But yeah, so this episode's a fun one. Once you get out of the little like Tammy section, because that place is kind of it's a nice place, but you gotta move out. And this is the Woshua Aaron fight, the double team where you have to clean Woshua, and then at that point I was like, I have taken too much health, so I have to go. There's I don't know, actually I don't want to spoil anything that happens in this episode. Okay, so you know, this was like, yeah, sweet and all. Just me walking through Panel. It's been, last Undertale episode was January, I'm pretty sure. I got off it for a bit, got off YouTube in general for a bit. Did some edited stuff. It's all garbage, it always is. Yep, that's about it. Nothing's really happened then. Valentine's Day is very soon. In fact, it's 3 days away from when I'm recording this. I'm probably gonna like just upload a bunch on like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like have them pre-uploaded, you know, with the schedule. Oh, here's Tammy. Flex it, Tammy. Muscles are not cute. And then Aaron's like, oh, I disagree. And then she's like, and that is me almost dying to Aaron, and then he flexes himself out of the room, so it's cool. Okay. Then here's more walking, and I think I made some joke originally about how in Pokemon, if you could just send a Pokemon out to use Flash, but you can't do that here. Also, that's a Swastika right there, the one we just passed, but just saying. I remember reading I think it was like on the Zelda Wikipedia. It was like the first thing, and you know, here's actually some. I'll get back to that in a little bit. Behind you is what it says, by the way. It's Undyne. Seven human souls with the power of 7 human souls, arcane. I took a long pause here. King Asgore Dreamer will become a god. With that power, Asgore can finally shatter the barrier. He will finally take the surface back from humanity and give them back the suffering and pain that we have endured. Understand, human? This is your only chance of redemption. Give up your soul or I'll tear it from your body. Undyne, I'll help you fight. Yo, you did it. Undyne is right in front of you. You got front row seats to her fight. Wait, who's she fighting? Hey, you aren't gonna tell my parents about this, are you? So yeah, Undyne is like, brrr. And then I thought I was talking to the flower again, like it was somebody. Basically, the Zelda Wikipedia story. I remember someone being like, "You hear a passing conversation. If I say my wish, you okay." So pretty much, what happens in Undertale right here is he's like, just a wish about like being on the What is it? Someday I'd like to climb this mountain we're all buried under, standing under the sky, looking at the world all around. That's my wish. Then the guy laughs. He's like, hey, you said you wouldn't laugh, because that's actually my dream too, is what the next one says. Well, I'm like psychic or something. Anyways, the Zelda... Just, you know, you can read for yourself. The Zelda Wikipedia thing, like, I remember, I was like looking up NES Zelda for some reason. I don't remember if it was under theory or conspiracy, but it basically was like, if you look at the map of Zelda Dungeon 1, it is a Nazi swastika. Was this intended? We do not know, but... Oh. Yo, I know I'm not supposed to be here, but I want to ask you something. Man, I've never had to ask this anyone before. Yo, you're human, right? Man, I knew it. Well, I know it now. I mean, Undyne told me, just stay away from that human. So, like, I guess that makes us enemies or something, but I kind of stink of that. Yo, say something mean so I can hate you, please? Yeah. I say yeah. Huh? Yeah, that's your idea of something mean. My sister says that to me all the time. Guess I have to do it, haha. Yo, I hate your guts. Man, I'm such a turd. I'm gonna go home now. And they trips. He's like, yo, wait, help, I trip. And then Undyne is there, like, oh. And then you help him up. And he's like, yo, dude, if you want to hurt my friend, you're gonna have to get through me first. And then Undyne's like, no. So that's... She's gone. Man, I should really go home now. Yeah, wait, no, that's... Whoops, that was a different line. Just have to be friends instead. Man, I should really go home. That's what I meant to say. I bet my parents are worried sick about me. Later, dude. It's funny because I'm pretty sure that's a girl. Seriously, that was the main character in this game. A guy or a girl, I can't tell. What was that? Zelda Wikipedia Nazi story, yeah. And then I'm pretty sure like comments. And oh, there's another speech. 7 human souls of King Asgore will become a god. 6. That's how many we have collected thus far. Understand. Through your 7th and final soul, this world will be transformed. First, however, as it is customary for those who make it this far, I shall tell you the tragic tale of our people. It all started long ago. No, you know what? Why would I tell you that story when you're about to die? Yeah. Oh yeah, and then it turns out that Undyne is a fish. You. And I think a pirate too. Standing in the way of everyone's hopes and dreams. Alfie's history books made me think humans were cool. They're giant robots that pull out swordsmen. But you're just a coward, hiding behind that kid so you can run away from me again. And let's not forget your wimpy goody two-shoes shtick. Ooh, I'm making such a difference by hugging random strangers. You know what would be more valuable to everyone? If you were dead. That's right, human. Your continued existence is a crime. Your life is all that stands between us and our freedom. Right now, I can feel everyone's hearts pounding together. Everyone's been waiting their whole lives for this moment. We're not nervous at all. When everyone puts their hearts together, they can't lose. However, now, human, let's end this right here, right now. I'll show you how determined monsters can be. Step forward when you're ready. So, basically, here's a boss fight. That's it then. And this one takes me a long time. In fact, that's the reason it was an hour long. On guard. So Undyne. Sneaky little fish. As long as you're green, you can't escape. So you basically get this little... Here, it'll show up. That little panel thing you see right there, you have to dodge the arrows, and they will come from different directions. So it's pretty much just plain DDR. Dance Dance Revolution, you see. And I didn't know this at first, so I was an idiot. So left, right, down. It smells like sushi, which is funny because of fish, you know, ha ha ha. Up, right, down, left, up, right, down, left, up, 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 up. I always hate videos like this, where I re-record over something, because I just gotta come up with stuff to say. And that's pretty hard in itself. Usually I can just be like, hey, this game is funny, isn't that funny? And then we go like, good job. But in this I have to be like, here's original commentary that actually has nothing to do with this. Let me think here. I mean, this is probably an interesting fight, but it's not interesting for me considering I played it like 20 times. And I'm like holding back on not telling you what happens in every single thing and what you have to do to win. But, you know, and then there's this attack, which, yeah, it looks a lot harder than it is. No human has ever made it past Asgore. Up, down, 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 up, down. You see, you have to do up, down, up at the last second. I should know I memorized this. And that little, the one on the left really messed me up there. So, yeah. Right, yeah, no, and then I was like, oh, my entire hopes and dreams are just been shattered. If you're wondering, actually, no, I shouldn't say that. I was about to be like, if you're wondering, here's spoilers to the video. Yeah, so this fight, I tried again. Apparently, I mean, there's a point where I, like, sped up half of it, but we're not at that point yet. You know, so let's play some stories right now. I ordered a Lucina amiibo 2 months ago, right? Has not come in the mail yet. It was said to come in the day I'm making this, so February 11th. But, it did not. The reviews are great, and there's like hundreds of reviews, so it's not just that they created a bunch of fake accounts. It sucks, you know. Whatever. It'll probably come soon. That's what Amazon told me. I don't actually believe anything they say, but how did that still hit me? You see that little thing right there? I mean, I clearly dodged that. Our birthday is soon. Isn't that neat? Fun fact of the day. Also, hope you guys are looking forward to Valentine's Day, because I have, like, multiple long videos planned. That's interesting. Okay, so my character's about to die here, because I believe this is the one where, they introduced, no, never mind. I died here, and I got, now if you want to recreate the rage that I had when I was actually playing this, my recommendation is to, recreate the rage by, so here we're at the montage segment, woohoo! Basically recreate the rage by, playing For Glory. I mean, you can just probably do that on your own. The audio is going to be off sync from this point on, by the way. Just, you can, I'm forgetting, For Glory, and then, upload a video while playing For Glory, so that way it'll start lagging. It's really enraging. So yeah, I could probably make a count of how many times I played this game. I don't want to. At this point, they actually introduced a new, like, concept into the thing halfway through, where you had to, because you know how I was talking about how there's different arrows? There's a point where then they introduce yellow arrows, which literally just go to the opposite of wherever they're at. So if there's a yellow arrow on the left, and it'll go to the right. It'll like do a U-turn, just go from the right side. was incredibly stupid, and my brain couldn't handle that. So my plan from this point on was literally to memorize everything else except for the yellow era segments, and then by that just hope that I can power through with enough health by not getting hit by anything else. And yeah, so the story is, okay, so I brought up Zelda Nazis. That's a great one. Start off with Zelda Nazis. I got this Pikachu bank thing. Looking at it right now, before I thought it was cute, but like right now it's actually kind of scaring me. It's just a bank, but it's Pikachu. I'm not really sure where the coin thing is inserted into its head. That's kind of dark, but I mean they've been put in worse places. So. The slit for the head. I don't mean like coins have been put in worse places. Game over. Am I right? Yeah. There was new DLC for the Super Smash Brothers games. If any of you, I mean all of you should probably care. If you don't, do. It's an order. Yeah, let me try to think here. What else is there to say? I have like an unfair amount of time in this section because I believe it's like literally it was ballparking like 40 minutes of this boss fight, and it was good because I was like enraged. So I mean, it was repetitive, but it was really funny probably because I was like, and I think I like actually yelled a lot. But of course you won't see any of that. So here's all these great things that you could have had if I wasn't an idiot. Commentary is hard. I feel bad for I actually now understand Game Grumps. You know, if those people curse a lot, by the way, if you don't like the cursing, because I know people on this channel do not, yeah, they play video games. They're like 5 million subscribers. You probably heard the name. You've probably seen a video by them, maybe. Anyways, YouTube-wise, my channel had, I remember the Metroid Prime It's Time to Stop, the Pokemon video. Did I upload anything else? I think Pokemon, the Pokemon re-uploads were the last thing because the copyright of all that fun jazz. I don't think there was anything else. I could be very wrong though. I'm wrong all the time. Oh, there was the Detective Pikachu, which I hope everyone got all the jokes in that. Because there was like two. The title and the seizure kit joke. And that was it. It was, I believe, 11 seconds. And I mean, the ending, in case you didn't know, because I doubt any of you are frequent watchers of CSI Miami, but CSI Miami, the theme, it shows like a beach when it's scrolling down, and then it has CSI Miami, and then it starts the rest of the intro. So I just was like, you know what, at first I was like, oh, I'm going to create the entire thing, but then I was like, never mind, I do not feel like doing that. I am lazy, and am not even mad about that. Oh, are we done? No. Okay. So yeah, the last thing I uploaded is that. I have some other videos that you might want to know about are all of them. Always watch all of them. That was great self-promotion. Speaking of promotion, I have this lovely Coca-Cola with me right now, and a smoothie that my mom made, but as far as I know, the smoothie's not a company yet. Should be. I hope this isn't a boring episode. Let's talk about life. I'm trying to come up with a story. Like, I know other famous YouTubers play games and then involve stories in their commentary. The only thing I can think of is like those times when you mess up, like in the first grade or something. And then when you're like 7 years later, you wake up, you're having a great day, and then you think of that time in the 3rd grade, you know, like when you did something stupid and got in trouble. I personally remember many, many, many times in my life, many things I've done. Here's an example right now. I remember the 3rd grade. So the public school I went to, it was, I believe, preschool through 5th. Like, I mean, usually schools don't have the preschool and kindergarten, I think. Basically, my friends were at the cafeteria, and I believe there was some preschoolers sitting at the other table, and these are big tables, by the way, so it's just class, not like cool kids, nerds, whatever. And all the kids, the preschool kids, I don't remember what we said exactly, but it was like, oh, we're almost done here. I gotta finish this class tour. Pretty much I said we pointed at the kids and laughed, and because someone made a joke or something, so we pointed and we're like, that kid looks like some kid when he was younger, and then we laughed, and then actually, never mind, I take it back. We still haven't. This is the final fight where I actually do it completely. Because I found out that you had to run. But anyways, the children's story, we're pointing at the kids and laughing, and then, you know, no big deal. At the end of the end of the lunchroom thing, we get pulled over by the preschool teacher, and then she's like, as 3rd graders, the preschoolers look up to you and respect you, and for you to be making fun of them and stuff, they didn't hear the conversation, so for you to be making fun of them is very immature and disrespectful of you. And then the teacher has us go to the kid table, like and we have to make a circle around it and apologize to everyone publicly. And this was a 600-kid school, so the shame was real. It was just me and 2 of my friends as we're walking around this table with like 5-year-olds who were sticking crap up their noses and just being total idiots. And we're like, hey, we're sorry. You know, we're like, sorry. And you see, none of the kids were upset about it, and the teacher's like, you know, you have truly upset these kids so much. Whatever, wow, this audio is really off sync is what I'm noticing. Never mind. Actually, I don't know. Yeah. So the teacher was like, you're making like the children cry or whatever. That clearly wasn't true. The audio is a little off sync at this end here. I won't lie. It might just be me recording right now. Anyways, so yeah, we make this apology round, and like this was something I carry with me for the rest of the day. Like, I have this issue for when I mess up, I like chalk it down as like a sin against God, like forever. Like a week later, I'm repentant with humble hearts for my sins against the kindergartners. I remember when we were walking up the stairs to get to our classroom from the cafeteria right after that, and literally, me and my one friend blame the other friend immediately. Like, the teacher asks us what happened. I'm like, well, basically, you know, such and such kid was like this, and we're like, we really didn't do anything. And he was like, oh, and I'm pretty sure that kid even got in more trouble. So I just realized how big of a jerk move that was. Another time I messed up was in 1st grade. I remember, yeah, it had to be in 1st grade. It might have been 2nd. I was really bored. I watched Disney Channel the other day, and I saw the kids passing notes, and I was like, this seems like a unique form of conversation. And it wasn't during class. It was during you know those little study periods you get, which, I mean, all the homework in 1st grade is a joke anyways, but that's not the point. Yeah, I remember I pass a note to Steven on a paper, and I'm like, hey Steven, how are you? And I remember the way I did it was because I didn't want to pass to other people, because I didn't want to cause this little chain, because, you know, some goody two-shoes kid, I mean, I'm usually the goody two-shoes, would get it, and then, you know, they'd be like, Miss Teacher, blah blah blah, you know. But anyway, so then I remember I pretend to get a tissue. So because I think we were pretty far away from each other in the classroom. So, you know, I get up, I, like, make a cough, drop the paper onto his desk. Go back. I believe it started off as, hey, and then it progressed to, like, what are you up to? I think at one point it probably went to how far are you in Pokemon? Just because knowing my friend, his name is, I'll call him Steven, there's no way that my attention span with him was anything more than Pokemon. I remember mostly being like, oh, so what'd you do in Pokemon today? Freaking nerds or something. So yeah, and then we passed back and forth. And then, I remember, Steven gets caught. Like, oh yeah, no. Steven isn't doing anything. You see, I'm reading while passing my notes. Like, I'm reading this book. And, then the teacher is like, Steven, what are you doing? You're not working on anything. And then he's like, and then, you know, and then she gets, like, her little, like, you're in trouble sentence prepared. And he's like, well, Aiden didn't pass the notes to me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Steven, you snitched me out in the first grade. I mean, Steven is cool now if you're watching this video, but you snitched me out in the first grade. So yeah, then, you know, she calls me up to her desk and she's like, this was true, you didn't pass any notes? I'm like, yeah, she got me. I was doing homework too, was my excuse. But then she was like, well, I think it was more like, you've been left with a warning because you're a good kid and it's the end of the day. But like, for the rest of the day, like, I was just like, how could I have done such a terrible deed? I disrupted class, except not even really. And then like, every time, this is true, I'm not even joking, every time I see those little scenes in the TVs or the movies, where the kids pass the notes, I instantly think of that, and I'm like, dude, you better not pass that note to your friend, because he'll rat you out. These stories aren't interesting, I can tell, but, this is, actually, we're about to win here, so, win is kind of a strong term. I forgot we were even playing this game. Probably because I'm not playing it right now. See, that's the yellow arrow that goes around. And then, yeah. This is why I stopped for talking about the game, because there's nothing interesting. I got pretty, like, I don't know. I mean, I was a good kid for my entire elementary term. So, there's not really too many stories of me like, this is the time I got in super big trouble. But I remember, back when I was a youngin', I think it was like 8, 9, I'm gonna guess that range. You know, I've been on the magical realm of YouTube for a few years, and I decide I want to create my own YouTube channel. So my mom was like, you freaking idiot, there's no way you can do that. Do you want to get those cyber hacked and you died? Of course. See, so she was like, no, you can't do it until you're older. And I was like, but why not? Oh yeah, hey, what's up? I was just thinking, you, me, and Undyne should all hang out sometime. I think you would make great pals. Let's meet up at her house later. So, should I tell another story? You know what? That's enough stories for today. We're about to finish up this episode pretty soon anyways. There's Sand sleeping like a little... Yeah, and then, you know, Undyne has to check and see what Sand's doing. And then, you know, since she's a fish... Ignore the audio mess up. She's like, armor so hot, but I can't give up. Then she falls. And then I'm like, huh, it's a water cooler. So then you take a cup of water and you give it to her. And she gets up. Doesn't say anything. Pretty sure. Just, you know, walks away. like every other woman in my life. Well, this concludes. Actually, it almost concludes. This now concludes. Sorry, I like told us there was totally a human in this area. So I guess Royal Guards are blocking off the Royal Elevator now. And the guy is not even, the elevators are working anyway. You know, blah blah dot dot dot. What? Okay. This concludes this episode of Undertale. Hope you guys liked the story this time. I thought they were pretty okay myself.